Now, going on, this past week, President Trump went over the pond to England, jolly old England, to have a state visit with King Charles. Now, that is not unusual because a lot of presidents have gone to state visits to meet the royal family. Now, this is actually the first time that a president has had two state visits. And President Trump did it in his first presidency, and now he is doing it in his second presidency. But the unorthodox thing is President Trump, well, I can only say, quite embarrassed himself and quite embarrassed the United States of America. When he went there, um, usually the President of the United States addresses Parliament, but he did not have a very good welcome, as you can see here. The day before he got there, there was a massive protest where protesters put up on the Windsor Castle films of him with Jeffrey Epstein. And four protesters were arrested, but President Trump did not address Parliament. Instead, um, President Trump met with the royal family at Checkers. And then his address with the royal family was quite unorthodox. Well, I won't even play it here, but he seemed quite perplexed. The language center in his brain just kept going in and out and in, like he was having a massive series of mini strokes. And it was not a very good sight. He just kept rambling on and on and on and on. And the king himself just kept looking at him like, what are you talking about? What are you saying? And the royal family were just staring at him. The others were staring at him. And then he addressed the prime minister and the press. And once again, mumbling, stammering, and it was just not a good thing. Just not a good thing. He just was uh, bumbling. And even when he was talking, his rambles, Prime Minister Starmer, at given points in times, just kept looking at him like, are you serious about what you're saying? And on the flight back, reporters started asking him questions. And some of the questions were about his flight there, about his meeting with the royal family, about uh, presidential issues, about things that are going on in Europe, about, and then they started getting into uh, Epstein issues, about the Charlie Kirk issues. And then they got into issues about Charlie Kirk's funeral. And one particular thing, how is it and why is it Charlie Kirk is having a state funeral and flags being flown at half staff for Charlie Kirk, but not for Melissa Hortman and her husband? And that was brought up once before. And he really did not have a definitive or clear answer for that. He just said, well, before he said, well, if Governor Walz had just called him and asked him, he would have considered it. Well, at first he said, Melissa who? Like he had no idea who Melissa Hortman was. Like he didn't even know she had died. Oh, if Governor Walz had just called me and asked me, I probably would have considered it and thought about it.
It would have been fitting to lower the flags to half staff when Melissa Hortman, the Minnesota House Speaker, was gunned down by an assassin as well.
I'm not familiar. Oh,
The Minnesota House Speaker, a Democrat,
Oh.
was assassinated this summer.
Well, if the governor had asked me to do that, I would have done that.
Charlie Charlie Kirk was not a president. He was not a soldier. He never served in office. He's not a statesman. He didn't hold any kind of position, but he's getting a state funeral and he's having flags flown at half staff. And they are holding him up to a position, and people are considering him like a up on the same level as Martin Luther King. Not even close. Not even close. But Mr. Hortman was a state representative. She did not get flag flown at half staff. And why? Because she was a Democrat. And he is acting like it never happened. How is that fair? It's not. But that's the way things are. And the president is just went to England, met with the royal family, had a series of mini strokes, and just debauched the whole thing. And it's come back to America and is just going back to doing things the way they were done before. Let me hear your comments. Tell me what you think. If you like, give me your likes. If you want to say something, give me your comments. Share the video. Subscribe to my videos. Subscribe to my channel. SJ-Laws and more. Thank you.